By the time I was 14, there was a guys who jumped out of a car and stuck a gun in my... Outside of the DJing, so there's a scene, on the show, if anyone's watched it, he goes, yeah, I wonder if he still lives with his mum. I think I'm a bit like a cockroach. That was the closest person in my life to me. You have to be very careful who you surround yourself with.
For those that who only know you as a DJ,
Yeah.
would you like to tell them what other things you also do?
Yeah, outside of the DJing, I have businesses. That's how we've met each other. I have a degree and I work as an engineer as well. So most current role is a senior quality engineer. I've been in engineering for 9 years now. I've made my way up to a senior position. I'm kind of the person that's called upon to kind of direct people if they don't know how to solve a problem and so forth, really.
When you say engineer,
Yep.
what kind of engineering are we talking? I did have a quick look. It's cars?
It started with cars because my degree was based around a motorsport engineering degree. So that was basically everything to do with race cars. So my second year of university, we then built our own car from scratch.
Wow.
And we raced other universities at Silverstone.
Wow.
The racetrack, yeah.
Silverstone?
Yeah, literally.
What university did you go to?
I went to BCU, so Birmingham City University.
Oh, lovely.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as straightforward as me getting my degree and walking straight into an engineering job. It was far from the truth. It was a lot harder because a lot of people would say to myself when I was applying for roles, I was lacking in experience. I think if people had done a placement year, they'd probably been all right. Because I was lacking experience, no one was willing to kind of give me that chance. My way of getting around that was I worked as an operative. So I was doing like jobs for minimum wage. Even though I had a degree, I was working for minimum wage, doing hands-on jobs, making parts for engineering.
So these racing car engines?
Yeah, that company it was, yeah. Well, to start with, actually, when I was working within those operative jobs, that was like a mass production, but at the same time, it was high-end cars. I was mainly working on like all Porsche parts, Aston Martin, Ferrari.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I think after a year of me doing that sort of work and obviously picking up a lot of overtime because of those sort of jobs I was doing, yeah, I kept pushing, saying, I've got a degree, I've got a degree, I've got a degree. Well, after over a year of doing that sort of work, I did get a bit frustrated thinking they just want to keep me here because I'm doing all this overtime. And I thought to myself, I got to try my chances somewhere else because I feel like I've got the experience that I needed. I was thinking if I'd done 5 different jobs as an operative and doing hands-on jobs to kind of make parts.
Wow.
I was thinking I've kind of got enough experience. I was willing to jump ship at that point. And he sat me down and says, look, the problem is obviously with me doing as much work as I did, he said it would create a problem for the company because they wouldn't have anyone to kind of replace all that work that I was doing because I do it overtime. So he said with all that extra work, there's no one else who's willing to do it. Yeah.
You really enjoyed it?
I did enjoy it, yeah. It's good to get the hands-on knowledge because later on when people have kind of been in processes and I've told them to do things a certain way and they looked at me and thinking, well, what does he know? Because I'm not as dumb as I look, believe it or not.
Why do you think they'd looked at you like that?
I'll be transparent. I think as a young black guy, people think, oh, who's this guy? To try to act like he knows everything, you know what I mean? But for me, I don't really believe that I know everything. I think the smartest people believe that they know nothing. Yeah. So a lot of people say to me, oh, you're smart. And I'm always thinking, nah, because I don't know how much stuff I don't know or how much more some other people might know in some areas. I've seen that time in, time out. Definitely.
You've got that aspect of yourself,
yeah,
and then you've got the DJ side of it. So which came first?
And the DJing would have came first because there's one more bit I want to touch on as well.
Yeah, go
back as well. Only other thing I would add as well with the engineering role as well is when the supervisor sat me down and said it would be hard to kind of get someone to cover all this overtime I was doing. He then said to me, look, I'm going to put in word in for you to get you in the engineering role because we'd rather you still work for the company and generate money within the company because you're hardworking rather than you just disappear and then we lose everything and not have such a hard worker working for the company. So then that's when I kind of got my first foot in the door as an engineer and then I was doing a dimensional engineer job. So I was there doing 3D scans.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my first step into engineering.
And how did you like that?
I did like it, to be fair. I was really happy with that, to be fair. From where I came from, I was thinking, finally, yeah, this is something that I've kind of went to university to do. I was grateful for the experience, just because later on, some people did have attitudes when they seen me in the workplace. Yeah, definitely. So they'd be like, oh, you know it all, you do it then. I say, pass me the tools then. And I would actually...
And you did it.
Yeah, and they'd be like, oh, fair play to you. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
it did help, to be fair, that hands-on knowledge.
Was it because you were younger?
Yes, I think so, definitely, 100%. It's always the older guys who are a bit like that. They think, oh, I've been doing this job for 10 years and X, Y, and Z. But that doesn't mean it's the best way of doing things.
What do you think set you apart from the other people?
My determination and my drive.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a bit like a cockroach. I refuse to die. I just never give up. I won't stop doing what I'm doing until it's finished. Even if that means I'm not going to eat. I won't eat until I've finished doing whatever I'm trying to achieve. And yeah, people say it's a bad thing, but my determination just channels me in. Sometimes my girlfriends have phoned me in the past and said, oh, have you eaten today? I'm like, oh yeah, I just realised I haven't. I generally haven't even realised myself that I haven't ate sometimes when I'm trying to achieve things.
That's because what we call in meditation, you can actually achieve a state in your brain where you're just like in the flow.
Yes.
Do you realise you're in that flow?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't realise, yeah. I'm that channeled in and thinking about what I got to do and the best way of doing it. And I'm there kind of always questioning myself and thinking, am I doing this the best way I can? It's only after I think, oh, wow.
It's because you're so in that zone.
Literally.
You're focused. It's 100% boom.
Yes.
And do you find that you just achieve everything you've set out to do at that point?
Not always. I think when I'm not getting good results, when I'm in that sort of a mindset, sometimes that's when I kind of can be a bit disheartened. I do have to take a step back and I have to evaluate and think, is my plan the best plan? It's going to sound weird, but I used to like to have people who were a bit negative around me. There's some people who were always negative and was, oh no, that's not going to work because of this. And because of that, I used to have people like that around me. Sometimes I just think, let me run this by them, see what negativity they have with this, and then I'll see how I'll work around it.
Use them as fuel.
Yes.
Fuel to your fire.
Yeah, I was thinking, what's the worst someone could say about this sort of situation, the way I'm doing this, or where's the holes in this situation? And I'd run it past them and say, oh yeah, they'll try and say, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. And I think, how could I combat that?
You're using your enemies, your haters,
yes,
to find the hole.
Literally, but
that's amazing.
Definitely, but in that situation as well, I can't always say there's always haters because they would have my interest in different ways. Some of them even family members, if you know what I mean. But
explain.
Okay, I'll be transparent because it may help someone. Even my mom, for example.
Sure.
A lot of the time, I feel like she didn't believe in what I believed in.
No.
When I first started the business, for example, or thought about starting a business, she says, oh no. I said, I want to start a business, basically.
Is this before or after you've been to uni?
After university. So I was already in the engineering role sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I thought about starting my own business just because sometimes I felt like it was hard to climb the ladder. I think for myself, I was very ambitious. So I was thinking, I was always the type of person to say to my managers, oh, what would I have to do in order to get a pay rise or to move to a higher position or a next position? Or I was always trying to think about what was next. I think what it was for myself when I was young and I first was in engineering, I thought to myself each year, okay, I'm in the same place I was last year. How do I change that? And that's what kind of kept me so ambitious, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And basically I came to a point where I'd done everything that I was asked to do to kind of get a pay rise. And at that point, it still didn't give it me.
No.
So at that point, I was a bit frustrated. And that's when I was thinking about business. But to be honest, I think with my determination, I still got a pay rise within that company, but I did ruffle feathers. But it was my manager was kind of kept fobbing me off saying, oh, I'm busy. Oh, yeah, I haven't forgot. Oh, look, I ate soon. Oh, sorry, mate. Oh, yeah, still been busy. Oh, but I will get around to it.
Did you never have one-to-ones?
With my manager?
Yeah.
I did with that, yeah, and that's what he kept saying. As a response, he was kind of fobbing me off. So what I did, I kind of surpassed him and went to a managing director.
Yeah.
And then at that point, the managing director gave it me instantly when I got 5K more than what I was on.
Wow. Straight
So
away.
yeah, just so they kind of did notice my driving ambition. Yeah, based off that, all out of the engineering as well. I was in a position, obviously, where I did start to think about business. And at that point, when I've run the idea past my mum, because I was living with her at the time, I'm saying, oh yeah, I would like to start a business. It's something I've always wanted to do. I did think about it from university. I was thinking I would like to start a business. But the hardest thing for myself is I didn't come from money and there was no one who was going to give me money. I could always fund it through an engineering role because it was well paid. So I thought eventually I could save up money and then start a business. Once I did have some money saved and I thought about it, my mum was like, oh, no, you don't want to start a business. When you finish work, you want to come home and you want to chill. I'm thinking to myself, how can she tell me I don't want to start a business if I just told her I want to start a business? If you get what I mean. And it was that sort of negativity sometimes. I had to run past people to see where the holes were. So I said, well, what do you think's bad about a business? She says, oh yeah, you have to pay more tax and you're going to be tired and all this stuff. I'm thinking, well, let me look a bit more about the taxes side. And I realised you have to make a certain amount of money before you're heavily taxed anyway. And it was that sort of thing that kind of made me think, yeah, even though she has her points and not very solid and there is ways around them.
With your mom, do you reckon it was just a case of like, I want my son to just have a stable income coming through?
Definitely, yeah, because I think that's what she's done, really. I think with her and my sister, they've just always worked jobs and they've stayed in the same roles. I've worked more jobs than them, and I'm a lot younger than them. My sister's 8 years older than me. That's part of the reason why I went to university, if I'm honest with you as well.
Why?
Because my mum was so proud of my sister. Oh, this is my, like, she'd always introduce my sister and she's done a degree and all the rest of it. And then for myself, my mum kind of more left me to it. I think it could have been partly down to her and my dad getting divorced, if I'm honest. And I do look a lot like my dad and I probably do have some of his traits and stuff as well. But she kind of left me to it more. With my sister, she was always like proud and like kind of showing off my sister. So that's what kind of drove me to kind of get my degree.
I think siblings just do that though.
I'm not sure, to be honest, just because that's the only sibling I really had around me, and other people that I was around, my friends and so forth, their older brothers and sisters weren't really like that.
Okay.
So to me, I kind of sensed the rivalry and I kind of felt a bit secluded. That's why I can be a bit quiet and a bit isolated sometimes, just because people who've been close to me kind of came across like they didn't always have my best interest, if you know what I mean.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that kind of drove me towards university, I have to say. But the only downside was, though, once I got my degree and even got a job within the field, because my sister got a degree, I did at the end, after that graph that I explained to you earlier. But I think at the end of it, it's like when I finished school, she's kind of said to me, oh, yeah, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you don't go to prison. If you go to prison, I'll never visit you. I get that I grew up in a bad area, but there was no guidance.
So you grew up in a rough area. Would you want to say where you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in Whit Marines in Wolverhampton, if anyone's familiar with the area. So yeah, I've seen a lot from early.
Yeah?
Yeah, seen a lot from early.
So
I was around a lot, yeah.
Those are the people who don't maybe know Whit Marines itself. How would you describe it?
I say Whit Marines, the best way to describe Whit Marines, it was one of the top two most notorious areas for gang culture and selling drugs and all of that, criminality, yeah. The top two, one of the top two worst areas for criminality in Wolverhampton. Just to put it all under one umbrella.
Okay. And you obviously explained, were you ever involved in that? How did you get yourself out of it? Or were you in it? I don't know.
Yeah, I have to be careful how I answer this question,
Yeah.
especially being a businessman and all the rest of it. Obviously, I don't want to portray the wrong image and don't want to glamorize criminality, but I was around a lot more than I should have been, if I'm honest. Because obviously, someone could see this and obviously be inspired by it. I was around a lot more than I should have been. But the reason behind that all was because there's definitely someone who relates to this, but I think in life sometimes there's people you gravitate towards too, who you genuinely get on with and you really have a good laugh with and you're very similar to and you can relate to a lot of things with. Those sort of people were the people who probably get into the most trouble at school, unfortunately. But to me, those are the most hilarious guys who I admired because no one would mess with them. It's not like someone would come up to them and insult them, and because people had that fear in them and they wouldn't insult them. So I admired that, and that's kind of what I kind of became to an extent, if you know what I mean, because you're a product of your environment. When I was around these sort of guys, I kind of changed where I was. I started off as a very timid and soft kid, if I'm honest.
Sure.
And that's why I probably can come across as that way to some people. Depends who you ask. Some people will see me as that way, and some people say that I don't let on much, and some people might think I'm a bit aggressive at times.
Mm-hmm.
But it all depends on who you act and how they've kind of approached me. I kind of mirror the energy that I kind of get, if that makes sense. But I was around a lot. I've seen everything. I've seen everything in terms of criminality, to be honest.
Do many people go to make it to university from with Marines?
If I'm honest, someone will probably see this and probably debate it, but as far as I remember, I was the first one within my area to kind of go to university. I think once I went, it's like the year after, you had a lot of people going. I could think of 3 or 4 people who went the year after me. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I was 18, I went. But I think my driving force of going to university was I went to college straight after school.
Okay.
All my friends as well, the ones who obviously are still involved in criminality and all the rest of it now, they was at college at first as well. But then they dropped out because they found ways of making money and said, oh yeah, it makes more sense for them to kind of take the time out of college, to make money rather than, seek an education. Myself, I didn't really want to take that risk just because I remember what Mum said, what I kind of said earlier about she would never visit me in prison. Yeah. And that kind of stuck in my mind. And I kind of never really wanted to kind of disappoint her and all my family, because my family were quite successful in America.
Were they?
Yeah, for example, my uncle was an engineer. He had like a 5-bedroom house. In his back garden, you'd see, auntie and uncle. So my auntie is obviously who I'm related to, and it's her husband who's the engineer, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But they live in a massive house in New Jersey, in America. Do you know who Russell Simmons is?
Yes.
That's their neighbour, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you look in their garden, you see like deers in the garden sometimes. They've got like a massive triple garage where they can fit like 6 cars inside the house and walk through a door and then go inside. And they've got a massive driveway. They've got 3 separate staircases in the house, depending on what section of the house you're in, to kind of go upstairs. Got intercoms to speak to each other just because the house is so big. And because of all of that, it kind of inspired me to kind of live that sort of lifestyle. And I thought, with education, you can get there. But obviously without education, it would be impossible to kind of get to the position that they was in. Well, that's what I thought at the time. But in reality, I think if you had enough experience and you knew your stuff that well, you probably still could open some doors potentially. But I thought that was the way I had to go about it, through education. But
that's good. What about your father? How much inspiration did your father play on your role in you growing up?
To be honest, with him, Mom being divorced and him living in London, he was very inspirational when I seen him, but I didn't see him as often as I would like to, if that makes sense. Or maybe could have or should have, maybe. I think what it is, I probably see him every few months, but when I seen him, he was very inspirational. He would take the time to ask what I'm doing, give advice.
So your parents divorced when you was a lot younger?
Very young.
Okay.
So at the time we was living in America, I was about 18 months old. Literally. And then my dad obviously came back to the UK once he got divorced as well. So that's where the separation kind of came as well. And then eventually we came back to the UK once I was about 5 years old. And then from there,
So I've looked on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Your dad's played a bit of a role.
Yes.
And he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear about that. Do you want to just explain what happened?
Yeah, what it was with my dad, he had a cardiac arrest very suddenly and unexpectedly. For example, I spent 3 days with him just in general, basically, not because I knew that anything was going to happen. We was just close, to be fair. We used to go to the gym together. And then, so we went to gym together that week twice. So obviously he's fit enough. He's in the gym, he's working out, we're in the sauna, we're having a laugh and joke, as we always did. And the day in between where we didn't go gym, I seen him anyway because he done me a favor, and then we were kind of chilled out together and all the rest of it because we was close. But yeah, it was very sudden at the end of it. I think what it was though, the day before he died though, he looked very, very tired.
Okay.
And I did say to him, "Oh, Dad, you all right?"
Yeah.
But at the same time, my friend was around me who kept talking to me. I haven't seen for a while, so I didn't give him the full attention I could have gave him, to be fair, just because of my friend being there and the distraction because I haven't seen him for a while. But yeah, the next day, literally, he was dead on the floor. But the way how that all came about as well was a big surprise because what it was, his girlfriend must have said to me, "I'll come and see your dad." I'm like, "Is everything all right?" He goes, "Oh yeah, you might have to go to the hospital, but I'll just come and see him. Just come quickly." Gone there, he's on the floor dead.
Whoa.
Well, I did rush there, but then that devastated me because at the time that was the closest person in my life to me. Because there's a lot of things that I talked to my dad about because I knew that he never had any judgment for me and he always had my best interest. There's things that I spoke to him about that I would never speak to anyone about. Not even my friends, about my mum and all the rest of it, because the way how they kind of thought differently to myself. No one. Like literally when I had a business idea, when I put that forth to my dad, rather than my mum, it was quite the opposite. When I said it to my dad says, "Liam, that could be life-changing for you." He said to me, "I'll invest money into it. I'll invest money into your business and you can pay me back when you've got it."
Have we told the listeners what the business is?
My business is called Rose Pure Water Cleaning. So I started off as a window cleaner. And that idea came from someone literally cleaning the windows at work when I was thinking, "Oh, I'm not getting what I deserve here." And this hit boom on the window and the guy started cleaning the windows and this is, "Oh, the window cleaner isn't very good. He doesn't do a very good job."
From engineering to window cleaning.
Yeah, literally. So I remember manager complaining, saying, "Oh, it's hard to get a good window cleaner. They never could do a really good job and all the rest of it. And they get paid good money for it." It was a bit of a light bulb moment,
Wow.
literally. So
You wouldn't have realized that, and that's not one of the first things that comes to your mind. But you've seen an opportunity right there, didn't you?
literally, yeah, it was like a light bulb moment. I was frustrated. I remember I was in the mood. I was in a laptop, in the mood, probably got a face on me. And I had this doom on the window. And it was literally like I don't know, I think for myself, I see different things in life as a sign. And I feel like nothing will happen unless it's your time.
Wow.
So with that, I took that as a sign.
Speaking of a sign, so like going through the grief of your father,
Yeah.
how did you actually cope with that? And how did you process that? What mechanisms do you use? Like a lot of people use meditation and stuff, or Reiki and sound balls, which I specialize in, etc. But like, what is it that? How did you do it?
I'll be honest, I didn't deal with it the best way. Not in the sense that I was doing anything crazy. I didn't become an alcoholic. I didn't do anything crazy, but I didn't handle it in the sense that I kind of isolated myself a lot, secluded myself because I just knew that there was no one who's kind of gonna put that energy into caring about me as much as he did, or understanding me to the level he did, or to make sure that things are going the best way they can for me. And because of that, I felt like I was on my own in life, if that made sense.
Yeah.
Which isn't a reality, but I just knew that nothing's going to really compare to the way how he felt and kind of believed in me. He was always my number one supporter. If I believed that I could do something, he was always the person like, "Yeah, I agree."
Men's mental health,
Yeah.
They say men work a bit different to women, how they process grief, and maybe it's similar. But men, they process it by having a lot of dopamine. And what about gym? Would you say gym was one of your go-tos as well?
I think gym has always been a major part of my life, to be fair. Like, it's always been my second home. It's been something I've done quite a lot. And that's why me and him used to go there together as well, because he used to see me kind of getting in shape. And then you kind of think, yeah, he should be doing the same as well. So I think gym was kind of like, it's more routine more than anything. It wasn't really something that I kind of used to kind of cope at that time. It's something I would have been doing anyway. But the gym thing, it didn't always really help. I think sometimes it did to kind of let out, I don't know, some frustration sometimes. But at the same time, it didn't help in the sense that people would walk up to me and say, "Oh, sorry about your dad," or, you know what I mean, "Oh, where's your dad?"
And re-trigger it.
Yeah, or because he used to come to gym with me. Some people say, "Oh, where's your dad?" And
Oh,
yeah, it
was
didn't really
there.
help at the time. Yeah, and even someone I was close with at the time, they must have been telling people, "Oh yeah, I haven't spoken to him since his dad died." And people coming up to him and saying, "Oh, I heard about your dad." I'm thinking, "How do you know?"
Wow.
And then because of that, I literally had to go at him
Oh,
because in my mindset, I'm saying to him, well, at that time, I was thinking, he's never met my dad. He hasn't had the decency to reach out to me
sure.
and say, "Oh, are you okay? How are you dealing with it?" Or the rest of it, or condolences, anything. But he's telling everyone, "Oh yeah, his dad's died." I kind of, yeah, I didn't like that, and I did kind of speak to him quite aggressively, if I'm honest, and say, you know what I mean, I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I think people
And, yeah.
really cope with it differently how they do it. You know, I've just had my mate Paul has passed away. Paul, it was just like overnight.
Okay.
He literally called me the night before he passed away.
Oh wow. I know what that's like, yeah, 'cause my dad's situation, yeah, I know what that's
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's very sudden, isn't it? You think, wow, how, don't you, sometimes?
yeah. It's like, dude, we were calling last night. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna come to one of your soundball sessions. I'm gonna come kick it. I sent him a few videos, he's doing some meditation, and you know, the next few days, like I thought, contact him again on how did it go, and then saw his brother posted online saying he's been taken away. I'm like, what?
Wow.
What? When was this? I'm like, dude, that was a Wednesday, whatever. I was talking to him that very night.
Wow.
He phoned me literally about 1 or 2 o'clock. We was messaging on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, just chill. It's all good. And
Yeah.
then, dude, boom, next day.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
No, it's cool, man. But just processing it for the whole family and the friends and like yourself, it's crazy.
It was, yeah. I think even up until now, if I'm honest with you, I've been very secluded since then. I just feel like when I'm around family members, they mention, "Oh yeah, we're family," or "Oh, my mom says, oh, I'm still your mom," or my sister's like, "Oh, I care about you, I'm your sister," and stuff. I'm thinking, nah, not, you know what I mean? I'm not saying they don't, but I'm thinking it's not the same, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my dad would have bent over backwards for me. At the time, even when he offered to kind of give me money to start a business, it's not that he had the money to give me. My dad
Oh,
says, "Oh, you know what? I got a credit card. We could put X amount of money on. Just make sure you pay it back by X amount of time. And you know what I mean? I'll let you do it, pay the interest, whatever, and you can do it." And myself, yeah, I paid him back the window cleaning machine. Obviously, started. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well. On top of obviously the window cleaning, obviously I did venture out into other parts of the business as well. So
what'd you do?
top window cleaning, I do gutter cleaning, I do gardening, I do pressure washing, I do clear outs.
Is that part of you find gutter cleaning? Think, hold on, I can actually make more money by doing a few other things as well.
I think what it was obviously I started as a window cleaner, but then people was always asking me if I knew anyone who could do these other jobs or if I could do it, or if not, they would say to me, "Oh, you should." Okay, I think the first one I got into was gardening, but what it was, someone saying to me, "Oh, if you did gardening, you could have done this, you could do mine, you could do the neighbours, you could do that person." And then eventually what it was is I was doing a window cleaning job for someone and they had a spare, well, they had a lawnmower, but it was a woman and she didn't use the lawnmower. She didn't want to cut the grass herself. So she
Yeah.
said to me, "Oh, if I wash her windows for free and cut her grass, I think like 10 times, I could keep the lawnmower." So
Oh,
I
wow.
kind of yeah. So from there, I kind of took my opportunity. So from there, I started cleaning the windows, cutting the grass, learned how to use the lawnmower because it's a petrol lawnmower, something a bit different to what I was used to.
What good qualities do you need to be an engineer? Like, do you
If
need
I'm
to have
honest,
maths
well, there was a maths.
subject?
Yeah, I did have to study maths within my degree. To be fair,
Yeah. So
but
you
I
must be
think
really, really, really good at it. Algebra and all of those.
no,
What is
no, no,
X?
no. I don't think you in reality in the field. I don't think you have to really rely on it that heavily.
Okay.
Or if there's anything you have to do with maths and all the rest of it, you still have calculators and all the rest of it. It's not like you have to work it out like you do in an exam. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you don't have to kind of know maths to the degree that they'd probably ask you to in an exam, if that makes sense. So in reality, you don't have to be the best at maths once you're in the job, but they expect you to have that knowledge to get in the job. If it's a job that requires a degree, some companies will let you in based off experience and what you know and what you can really offer. But some of them are adamant that you have a degree, depending on what company you're working for.
I think you've done amazingly well, considering some of the obstacles you've come up against.
Yeah.
So you do the DJing. Did you ever DJ while you was at university? Did you ever go to schools
Yes,
or whatever?
I think DJing is probably the first thing I got into, even before engineering. I started learning how to DJ when I was like 14. By the time I was 16, I was in over 18s DJing, even though I was too young to be in there. They made exception, obviously, because they're not going to say, oh, we're not having no music because he's 16. They're going to say he's the DJ, if that makes sense. So I kind of was in DJing from early. So that was the first kind of business I could say I had. But to me, I didn't see it as a business and it was more of a hobby.
And then you was also on Irie FM.
Irie UK, yeah.
Irie UK.
Yeah.
I used to be a DJ.
Oh, yes.
I used to be on Frontline, which were technically rivals.
Yes. I remember that, yeah.
So just how did you get into the radio side of the DJ?
I got into the radio side basically because I used to go to youth clubs to learn how to DJ, even though my mom's boyfriend at the time used to have decks in my living room. But
he was a DJ?
He was a DJ on the Skyline radio.
That was other rivals?
Yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, I don't mind saying his name as well. Yeah, there's a guy called Mr. Fix.
Shout him out.
Yeah, a lot of people will probably know who he is. The older people, if they're watching, yeah, they'll know who he is. Yeah.
Shout out Sugar from Frontline.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, he was a DJ. But when I kind of played a lot of music and I was at school and people was always like, oh, okay, what it was back in the day, we was all on the bus and we'd have like the Sony Ericssons back in the day.
Yeah.
It shows how old I am.
You had Sony Ericssons. You're too young to know about Sony Ericssons.
I'm 31 now, believe it or not. Yeah. So I had my Sony Ericsson. I'd have like a dock speaker. I'd plug my Sony Ericsson on. I'd play my music. Yeah. But what it was on the bus journey, from when I was in year 7, the older kids sometimes they used to really like my choice of music. So much that the kids were the older kids were quite aggressive. They'd be like, everyone turn off the music, he's playing his music. And like, if they're not, like, they'll literally grab someone's phone out of their hand and pause it and all the rest of it. But some people get annoyed by that and say, bloody hell, why can't we ever play music when he's on the bus? Is he the DJ or something? He goes, he should be.
The bus DJ.
Yeah. And the older kids are like, yeah, he should be. And then from there, I think, someone kind of seen the music I had in my collection and kind of taught me how to DJ. Another DJ, excellent teacher. Even though we're not close these days, we don't really exchange much words based off. But I don't know, to be fair, it was someone who we both knew, but he kind of took their side and kind of tried to defend them, and since then, it's never kind of been the same. But the person who I had a problem with, me and him are still close now, if you know what I mean. Even though we had that kind of, that situation, we kind of moved past it, but I think me and the person who taught me how to DJ, we've kind of never been the same since, if that makes sense.
It's a shame.
Yeah. So, back to before, what it was, I had all the decks and all the equipment in my living room, speakers, everything to learn how to DJ. But then he said, I haven't got insurance on this, so if anything goes wrong, you ain't gonna have the money to fix it, so you can't use the decks.
Do you need insurance? Have you got insurance now?
No, to me, the CD players aren't there, you know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking.
The CD players are quite robust as well. If you really look at the testing that goes into it, especially like if you look at...
trying to hustle,
Yeah. So because of that, I had to kind of travel to different youth clubs, and I would even travel to Dudley. So some days the youth clubs would be on. It wouldn't be on every single day most of the time. So I'd kind of go wherever I could to kind of learn how to DJ. So sometimes I was going to Dudley. Sometimes I was even going to Heathtown, to Springfield, which obviously it was an area I shouldn't have really been going to, really.
Why is that?
Just because there was a lot of rivalry back in the day when I was young as well. To be fair, there was people, like, literally, it was a gang war, basically. People was getting shot, stabbed, you name it, you know what I mean? By the time I was 14, there was guys who jumped out of a car and stuck a gun in my face and was seeing who we all was as kids, just because we was walking around the area after youth club about 10 o'clock at night. And it's like, who are these guys? And they jumped out of a car and stuck guns in our face. But that's kind of what I grew up. And that's what I said. I've seen a lot from very early, and I've seen everything. If you know what I mean.
That happened to you?
Yeah.
At 14 years old?
14 years old. I was on my BMX.
You're getting robbed for your BMX?
I didn't get robbed. They're just seeing who he was.
I don't get what you mean. You didn't have your mask
No,
on. You didn't have a mask on.
no. We're just a bunch of kids coming back from Euclid laughing and joking. You know what I
Right.
mean? That was the
Wow.
last day I was ever off guard like that.
That's scary.
Yeah, so I've got my head's always been on the swivel since I was about that age, really. Even now, if I hear any noise in my house and I'm sleeping, I'll jump up and look out the window and look at my surroundings
Was
just
it
because I know what can happen.
Was it a real gun? Or were they also kids?
It's definitely a real gun.
They were kids as well?
110%. No,
They weren't kids.
no, because they jumped out of a car.
Oh yeah, of course.
They jumped out of a car with balaclavas on their face.
Yeah.
And they're from Heathtown. And I knew some Heathtown because they're all wearing red balaclavas all over their face and stuff. When I was 18, and I got good marks at university because I had a black teacher who kind of really believed in me and kind of really guided me through life and kind of told me that even as a black guy, I'm going to have to work 10 times harder, so I can't be messing around and I have to take everything seriously, and kind of really broke everything down to me. When I first went to college as well, I was on a mechanics course, and this guy basically got on the whiteboard, I'll never forget. He showed me for his bills, written them all on the whiteboard, showing me a mechanic's wage off Google, the average, broke it down to how much he would have after, and he showed me how much he would have after he was working at his job at Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah.
And from that, I knew straight away I wanted to be an engineer because, yeah, there was significant pay difference. I think in reality, it can depend because obviously now I know you can be self-employed and all the rest of it, so that kind of changes things. But at the time, it looks a lot more appealing to me to be an engineer than a mechanic.
That's great.
And that's why I kind of knuckled down at college and I got top marks. And that's what allowed me to go to university. I thought to myself, I've got opportunity here that no one else has really got around me. No one else has gone to university. I thought to myself, I'm going to take this opportunity. And yeah, I went off to Birmingham straight away.
Now, that sounds really great because like you can also kind of inspire other youngsters who might be in that field out there right now. What kind of advice would you give them?
Best advice is you have to be very careful who you surround yourself with. You're a product of your environment, and it's even like my nan used to tell me as a kid, you have to watch the company you keep. Like, okay, then someone might do something for you, but they might want something back in return. And especially if this person is someone that you wouldn't be able to handle, or someone who pressures people into doing things and all the rest of it, it can be very hard to get yourself out of them sort of situations. And if you are in a situation like that, then you can be limited to how you kind of move around because you'll have that pressure and the person trying to put fear into you, saying that there's going to be a consequence for this X, Y, and Z. The best thing you could ever do is kind of surround yourself with people who allow you to do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. No, that's beautiful. I want to move along.
Yep.
And we've seen a clip of you, this guy here, on the BBC.
Okay, yes.
He's been on Dinner with My Ex.
Eating with my ex.
Eating with My Ex.
Yes.
Explain, how did that come about? What were you doing on the... First of all, why would you want to do that?
It's not something I would say that I wanted to do. It was something I was kind of tricked into doing, I have to say.
Tricked?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Okay, then. So what it was, whilst I was at university, I had a girlfriend basically in my last year of university.
Okay.
A girl from Leeds, who was obviously the girl who brought me on the show. But obviously she moved to Wolverhampton for me after finished university. We were still together after university. And then, when we split up, basically, long story short, she said that she's doing some acting classes and said it would be good for her acting, it'd be good for my DJing for promotion if we kind of went on this show.
Oh,
but at the time, though, what it was as well, I'll be honest, it might have been a setup now. I just didn't see the signs. So imagine, as a DJ, you know what SoundCloud is, don't you?
Yeah.
So I had my SoundCloud page removed. I had a lot of followers on there. I had thousands of followers on there. Like I've never even got, to this day, I've never got that following back to what I had at the time.
Wow.
But I lost thousands of followers on my SoundCloud page because of copyright.
Oh.
They're saying that obviously a lot of Drake songs were used on my mixes. I used to always start with Drake songs. I was a big Drake fan at the time.
Sure.
So because of that, I had 3 strikes, but I had 3 different mixes I had more than 3 mixes that started with Drake. So I got my 3 strikes and I lost my SoundCloud. So then I've lost my SoundCloud, and straight after that, she's asked me to go on this show and said that it'd be good for promotion and all the rest of it. I thought, I've just lost my SoundCloud. Yeah, I need some promotion. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's phoned me. She says, "Oh yeah, there's never been any animosity between us."
Animosity.
Literally. Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, we're just having a little talk, all the rest of it, yeah, and it would be nice. I'll make sure we go somewhere fancy."
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was thinking,
So
oh yeah,
you-
why not?
you
Why
pay
not?
for it.
No. They paid for everything, to be fair. Yeah,
fair.
and
Yeah.
transport, everything. I didn't have to pay for anything, to be fair. So yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, it's all be cool. And then at the time, I was even seeing someone, and I was saying,
Oh my God.
I was seeing someone else at this point. So I'm like, I was saying to her, how do you feel about it? Because it would be good for my DJ and all the rest of it. She was gone.
She's gone.
Well, I thought she was at the time. Yeah, she was not happy. Like she's like,
you're going with the ex on TV.
Yeah,
on
she
BBC.
went ballistic. She went ballistic. So yeah, that was kind of. So say if I was living in a house at the time.
Don't do that, guys out there.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm just gonna go with my ex who's gonna be on TV and everything.
Yeah. So say if I was living in a house at the time, I ended up back at my mom's basically over that situation. And I thought, from time she's, you know what I mean, got this angry, and I'm back here at my mom's thinking, I might as well go on there anyway.
Oh, fair. Okay.
So I agreed to it at that point when she kind of told me to go leave and all the rest of it. She's got angry. I've accepted it.
Yeah.
I literally, an hour or 2 after I've accepted it, she says, "Come back round tonight. We need to talk." I was thinking, oh, damn.
Oh, what, after you shut it?
No, after I've agreed. So the BBC are phoning me when I'm at work and all the rest of it, saying, "Oh yeah, we really want you to come on." And the girl's already gone through interview stages. We would like to do a little video call with you to get a feel for you.
Yeah.
And I'd done the video call while I was at work. Yeah, like a quick video call on my lunch break. And there's like, "Yeah, we really want you on the show. We think you'd be a good match, and yeah, it'd be really good," all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, then I accepted it. And then a few hours later, the girlfriend at the time was like, "Yeah, come back around tonight. We need to talk."
She
was going to sort it out after she calmed down. And then once I told her that I've accepted, back to square one, back to so yeah. So then when I've come on the show, then I kind of had the attitude like, okay, why have you brought me here at that point? Because I think I was saying to you, I basically lost the person who I was with. Well, I lost my girlfriend over this. So kind of, what do you really want? Like, you know what I mean? Is there more to this, or is this just a conversation sort of thing?
Did she want to get back with you?
I don't know. She's like, "Oh, you seen someone? Oh, I didn't." Like, you know what I mean?
You failed to disclose that bit.
So she wasn't happy about that. She didn't realize, and then she's like, then because of that, I think her angle changed. She was there like, oh, she kind of came on the show with the approach. "Oh yeah, I've got my own boyfriend, and oh, do you still live with your mum?" And you know what I mean? Because she moved into my mum's with me after university and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to just obviously make herself look big and make me look small, sort of thing. And then everyone who I knew was kind of like, "I can't believe you didn't really say much."
What was she saying to you?
The main thing, she's like, "Oh yeah, do you still live with your mum?" Okay, so there's a scene on the show, if anyone's watched it, where she's in the salon and she's there with her friend, and she's there saying, "Oh, it's gonna be crazy seeing him again," all the rest of it. Like, I think a friend must have said to him, "It's gonna be crazy seeing him again, isn't it?" And all the rest of it. He goes, "Yeah, I wonder if he still lives with his mum." Laughing. Then in the salon, they're all laughing and that. Like, and then she comes on the show, she asked me, and you know what I mean. But these times I had money.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Out there driving a BMW, you know what I mean? I had money
roles
saved.
switched.
She knew this. She knew all this. You know what I mean? It's not like I was a bum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was far from it.
Yeah.
But it was for me. I was trying to save for a mortgage while I was at my mum's. If you know what I mean?
Cool.
I was trying to be smart. I've got my own place. I got my own man. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the last time you're gonna see me, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She coming over all that angle. So I'm there watching, and I'm furious. Like, you probably seen the clip as well. If not, I'll send you some of the footage as well, so you can edit it in as well.
Well,
But
we'll edit that video in somewhere here.
yeah, but yeah, I was furious. Think to myself, don't say anything bad, because I remember at that time it was my first engineering role, my first company. I was thinking, I can't mess this up. if they watch this on TV and they think I'm aggressive and, you know what I mean? Or women see it and they think, oh yeah, he's got no manners. I'm thinking to myself, this is going to really, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. So I just tried to firm it all, to be fair. Even though she was saying all this stuff to me and I could have said so much back to her, I thought to myself, whatever I do, I'm gonna be scrutinized for. So let me just take it.
He was savage. He was savage.
Oh, that was a setup as well. That was a setup.
Do you know what he said to her? I saw the clip, right, and I was like, nah. Yeah.
That was a setup.
Go on, to tell him what you said.
Okay. I'll explain the situation as well, just because if I just say what they edited it, it's gonna come across the way how they want it to come across. But the BBC at the time, they must have asked me, the best have said, basically at the end of the show, after everything's been recorded, they said to me, she was quite harsh. She was quite harsh with you today. And yeah, why do you think that was? I said, I don't know. I said, she looked better than she did when she was with me. She lost some weight. Like, you know what I mean? Thinking maybe that's why she's kind of got this confidence boost that's come out of nowhere that I wasn't expecting, sort of thing.
She's lost some weight.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but I start thinking she should probably feel more confident in herself and probably feel like, I'm on my best self, I'm living my best life or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So at that point, I thought it was just that. This is literally at the end of the show. This is when like I'm ready to go home.
Right.
And they're sitting with me and says, why do you think she was like that? They took that clip basically. They put it in.
They only used that clip because she lost some weight.
Yeah, they put that clip in as soon as she walked in to the restaurant. So it looks like I'm blazing as soon as she walked in, which was not the case. And then they've edited all this stuff in after where she's blazing the hell out of me. So it looks like I deserve it all. It made me like a right clown, and I wasn't happy at the end of it all. I thought to myself, never ever going on TV again. I was asked to go on other shows after that.
Did you?
No, I was asked to go on like Naked Attraction and all sorts of stuff.
What did you?
I could have really. I'm blessed, but I think myself, I've had enough. I've had my 15 minutes, so I was thinking I've had enough.
Oh God, I don't know what Naked Attraction is. Explain what that was.
That's the basically show where like you'd be behind like a wall, and then like it kind of show you different parts of your body parts before your face, and then the person will decide if they want you.
Right, it's a different version of Blind Date I've ever seen.
Yes, basically, yeah. And I think there was another show that asked me to go on as well.
Blind Date?
Yeah, I do remember Blind Date, yeah.
You don't remember Scylla?
I do, yeah, Scylla Black, yeah.
How old are you? I can't believe
I'm 31.
Serious?
Yeah, but I was, ahead of my time, to be fair. I probably watched more than I should have on TV when I was young, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was you about to say about the other one?
Yeah, there was another show I was asked to go on as well, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it was something, it's like a dated show. I think it was, actually, no, that was it.
I think you'd be good on them, don't you think? If you get offered, I think you should.
I think it's X on the Beach or something like that.
X on the Beach, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I think it was something like that as well. And they wanted me to bring my exes on and stuff like that. Nah. I've had enough of that.
Saying that, I got an ex when you invited me on your previous show, dinner with my ex.
They probably thought if I was to bring it back, I was going to savage me off again. It'd be good content. But I was thinking, nah, definitely not.
You're too funny. You're too funny. Oh man! But your DJing career has been doing well.
Up and down, I have to say. I think with that, times have changed. Times have changed dramatically. I don't think it's really about.
I've got a screenshot here.
Yeah.
You DJ'd with DJ Cameo.
Yes,
Doneo.
Extra, yes.
Is that Doneo?
Yeah.
That guy,
Yeah.
Style OG.
Yes.
Temper T.
Yep. Temper T was my first ever booking. So when I said I was 16 and I was in the club, that was like Canal Club in Hampton. You remember the Canal Club? Right next to the canal in the town.
Yeah.
That was my first ever booking, and Temper T was in there, and the atmosphere was crazy. There's nothing like you're seeing now. Everyone now has their phones like this, you know what I mean? Back then, everyone was just dancing and going crazy, and he's there jumping up and down. He's got his top off, and it was crazy. And I think that's what kind of got me into DJing and got that love for DJing. But it's not really the same these days. Yeah, I still love it, but I used to love it more. That's a Drake line as well.
DJ Rusky.
He's a really big DJ. A lot of people who are probably watching this probably know who he is. He's a guy from Birmingham, but he's done really well. He's got a massive following.
Wow.
I've had a few bookings of him.
Wookie.
Yeah, Wookie.
Wookie,
You
yeah,
know
I
who he
know,
is,
we
the
know
garage,
Wookie.
garage guy.
Yes,
Yes. He was
Heartless
really cool.
Crew.
He was.
Yeah.
He was really, really cool. To be fair, I couldn't believe how down to earth he was. He introduced himself to me before I introduced myself. I think Charlie Slough was like that as well. I have to say, those guys are very humble. I have to say, I was very surprised. Yeah.
Cruz, Marcus Nasty.
Yeah, he was another one as well. Straight away, as soon as I came on after him, held his hand out. It's like Marcus. What's your name? You know what I mean?
Is that Big Nasty?
His brother.
That's his brother. Okay.
Literally, yeah.
No, I did not know.
He's got another. They got another brother as a DJ now as well. He's quite big at the moment.
Yeah.
Mac 10, he's called.
Okay.
Yeah. But
One to look out for, is he?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people know who he is as well. He's got a huge following. All his brothers, they've got huge followings. All of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think you've done very well. That DJ EJ.
Yeah. I still speak to him even now. To be fair, not like we're close or anything, but obviously I spoke to him the other day. He used to work in a gym in Wolverhampton. Yeah. I seen him and I was kind of talking to him. I says, "Oh yeah, I know who you are because I'm DJ myself." And I told him I was. I was shocked that he knew who I was.
Yeah.
Because he's so big to me, and he was someone who kind of inspired me to become a DJ.
Wow.
Before I was a DJ, I was listening to all of his mix. I was literally getting whatever money I had as a kid, going to the shops, buying his CDs,
EJ
and I
was
was listening.
huge.
Yeah, I was a huge fan. And like every time he had a new CD, I was going to buy it. Him and Apostle. I'll be honest, Apostle.
Yep.
No disrespect to EJ, but I think Apostle's like. He was the guy for me. I thought he was the best, and even on being on a radio station for him as well. More recently as well, for the last 2 years, there was a radio station called APS which he kind of had a part of.
Okay.
It was kind of his station. I was on there as well, but I'd never really met Apostle before. I've never met him face to face ever. But yeah.
Well, what's the future of radio stations these days?
I think it's not as bright as it used to be. I'll be honest, because before, like, people was kind of in pirate radio station, even though it was illegal.
Yeah.
And there was big risks involved because I remember there was a guy who come on before me. So it was like
before your set?
Yes, he had his show on before me. And a bit like this, so you'd have all the cameras, everything around. And you'd have your decks there. And I remember I was watching his show before I came to do my show. So I'm getting ready, listening to his show, watching him. And I remember the police came in.
Oh,
They raided the station.
got raided?
They got raided, yeah. Got raided. I said the guy looked like he was about to cry, and this guy was probably like in his 40s. You know what I mean? At the time, I'm like 16. Look at this guy, looks like he's about to cry because they're taking all his CDs, they're taking all the equipment, they're taking everything. And these times, everyone's paying off CDs, so all your CDs literally like...
Yeah,
That's
your
all your
bread
music
and butter,
gone, like, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? There's no backups,
No.
you know what I mean? So literally taking all that off him, he looks like he's about to cry. I've had to phone the person that's come on with, oh yeah, that was the thing. When I first went on radio, I didn't have the confidence to speak.
Oh, really?
I didn't, so I was paying, I didn't pay no one to come on radio with me. But when it came to my bookings, for example, when I was in the club and stuff, I used to pay someone half my money to host my set. So they're just there talking on the mic and,
MCing.
shout out to the ladies, this, that, and the other. Yeah, and my MC, he was an MC as well. He would actually rap and MC and everything.
Wicked.
But I would give him half my money just to do that basically at a time. And people were saying to me, "Oh no, you need to learn to speak yourself because one day it's gonna let you down." And I didn't really want to do it. And then eventually, like I think what it was, once I got really established and I was DJing most Fridays and Saturdays, I'd have multiple places where I'm DJing on a Friday and on a Saturday when I was younger, like when I was between 16 and 18, I was really busy those times because 4/4 music was big at the time.
4x4, yeah.
Yeah, I was on the radio, I had a good following, all the rest of it. Once I got big, I realised that he didn't want to come to the radio station, but when it came to the bookings, like, oh yeah, I'm coming because he wanted half the money because we were getting paid for that. But in radio, we was paying to be on the station, if that makes sense. We had to pay subs, which kind of...
Subs.
Yeah, that kind of went towards obviously buying equipment from the studio, if anything broke, and running cost, all the rest of it, yeah. So from there, that's when I learned how to speak, yeah.
No, that's interesting because like we're working the front line. I've got a similar story where I had two of my mates with me, and I was the first kind of guy to play fusion of reggae music, and then I dropped the Punjabi.
Okay, yeah.
All Punjabi music.
Yeah.
I noticed you did that as well on one of your sets.
Yeah. I've had some.
You did the other?
Yeah. I've had some party sets. I've had some Asian parties I've had to do, I have had a bust out job music and all the rest of it. Yeah,
That's
yeah. Do a
wicked.
little dance.
That's it, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So Sugar helped me out. He
Yeah.
gave me some of his music. I had some of my Asian music, and what I did was, I'm playing a tune, and then there's a massive knock on the door, and I've been told you don't open the door for no one.
Yes. That's what we was told, but the guy opened the door, didn't he? We saw the camera and it's in his face. It's in his heart drop. I saw his heart drop on the video, honestly.
I told my mate to go and have a look. He went in the peephole, had a look, and he's like, "Dude, I think that's feds." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, "What? Are you for real right now? You got to turn the music down. Low.
Yeah.
We're about to get jacked." I go, "I did not want to be the guy to get this
Yeah,
station
yeah.
down."
Yeah.
So I'm following Sugar, like, "Yeah, listen, I think we got a problem here, my G." He's like, "What?" sticky situation, man. But luckily, they walked away. I don't know who that was. That could have been like TV license guys. I don't know.
You're lucky, yeah.
Lucky, man.
Definitely.
Nah,
But the times have changed dramatically since then. I think back then, there was no laptops. You actually had to be able to mix and understand music and have an ear for mixing and DJing. That's the thing. Because these days, I think if you gave most of these DJs 2 CDs, they say, "Oh, mix the tracks." And you gave them an old school pair of decks that wasn't going to tell them the beats per minute so they can match the speed of the songs and stuff like that. They really struggle to mix.
Wow.
A lot of people, I think these days now, you can go on TikTok, mix 2 songs together and people like it and you got a good following or you get good views.
Yeah.
Someone will say, "Oh, yeah, come play at my club," because they think, "Oh, yeah, this person has got all this attention on them." You got to look at it from a business perspective, really. It does make sense. If they can draw thousands of people to this club, obviously going to make good money on the bar, all the rest of it. So I get it as a business perspective, but back in the day, it was all about how good you was. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you couldn't mix well and all the rest of it, and you was clanging and your mixes weren't good, or you wasn't playing good music, or you didn't bring a good vibe, all the rest of it, you wasn't getting booked. And those are the times I kind of missed, to be fair.
Yeah,
Now
it
there's a lot more gatekeepers as well. There's people who will kind of host their events, they're DJs, but they'll host their own events and they'll book other people who host their own events and all the rest of it. It's very different.
Yo, what do you think of the AI music? Have you heard any AI music yet?
I do.
What do you think? I've listened to all old school hip hop music done on AI. I think even 50 Cent's promoted himself on one of his posts.
He's got a few. I follow 50 Cent quite heavily because
Yeah.
I think he's a very interesting character and I think he's got a lot of good points that I've kind of learnt from. There's a lot of stuff that he's kind of posted that I've kind of learnt from and thought, "Oh yeah, that's good," or been interested in. I watched a lot of his TV shows as well. I watch all of them, to be fair. Big fan from when I was a kid. Literally had a poster on my wall with that, was it Get Rich Die Trying?
Yeah.
Had that on my wall, everything, yeah. But with the AI music, I feel like it's taken away from the creativity of music. I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a caveman. I don't really like change, if you know what I mean. I think when things become easy for people, I think, "Oh no, I don't like this." It's like the DJ thing, like I said. Like, I took pride in taking that time out to learn how to mix. Like, it took me about a year or two to really kind of be able to mix well, you know what I mean? And that's the whole reason why I used to get bookings at the time. I could kind of mix quite well compared to a lot of other DJs who were kind of on the scene at the time, if that makes sense. Even though I was young, I kind of had an ear for it at the time. Some people might dispute it and say, "Oh yeah, I was better," all the rest of it as a DJ. Who knows? But myself and from feedback I was getting, I was quite good at it.
You was killing it after
Yeah.
you had a dub plate as well at one point. I think
I've got
I said.
loads, so I still spend money on that now, but that's an expensive game. I think that's another thing as well. I think these days there's a lot of people who just play songs, especially a lot of the new DJs. And for myself, I don't really. What's the best way to put it? I respect what they're doing in the sense of like you've gained a following, all the rest of it. You're doing well, you're making money. I respect that, but I'm not really impressed by a lot of the new DJs, to be honest, just because they don't really do anything outside the box. That's something I pride myself on doing, being outside the box. I play all sorts of different genres of music, and I think like any genre of music you ask me to play, if you told me to play one genre, I'd be able to play it uniquely. Like, say if you put me in an event for any sort of genre, just playing that genre, I'd be able to play a set which was unique and people would enjoy it, and it would have songs that were either exclusive dub plates or something outside the box. I think that's what I pride myself on doing. But
Absolutely. I mean, that was the core of essence of being fresh, being new
literally,
back in the day, right?
yeah. But I've literally spent thousands on. I've literally spent
What's your favorite?
thousands.
What's your favorite dub plate? Top 5.
Top 5. Okay, top 5 would be like easier. I've got a dub plate of Migraine Skank. You know that song, don't you?
Migraine Skank.
Yeah. I got that from Gracious K. I've got one from Monster Boy. You know, Sorry.
Yes.
I can see my whole world. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's my favorite.
How did you get that dub plate?
You have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's paying money, man. Honestly, that's what I mean. That's why it costs. That's why I say they spend thousands. Yeah, this stuff ain't cheap because they have to go to the studio and obviously remake the song basically and sing the song to have my name in there.
Yeah.
And because of that, I have to pay them to do that. You know what I mean?
How did you get the connects to get that done? That's mad.
Monster Boy, luckily, I was playing in a club and I was a DJ who was playing for him while he was performing.
Yeah.
So from there, I asked him for his number and kind of connected with him that way.
Excellent.
A lot of the other people, I connected with them through social media and all the rest of it. But
So
that can be a bit hit or miss. Some people have got egos and all the rest of it, harder to speak to than other
Yeah.
people.
True.
Yeah.
True. No. Did you ever watch the Sound Clash?
Yes, yeah, I used to love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Very inspiring, to be fair. I have to say, like, those. Yeah, there's even a DJ that was on there, I think, from Wolverhampton. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's probably the best DJ in general to me, hands down to me.
Well, I think we should add DJ Python on that list now.
Nah, I'd love to. Yeah, definitely, man.
After-
Trying to get back into it now. I think now I've kind of achieved more things that I've kind of set out to kind of achieve in life. I think I've kind of crossed off most of the goals now. There's a few things left, but I think they're more within reach, to be fair. I think they're more going to be things that are going to contain consistency and they're going to happen when it's my time. And the things that can't really be rushed, to be fair. Kind of bigger plans like property, my dream car. I'm not far from it. There's been a good few times I've been ready to pull the trigger to buy my dream car, and then something will happen financially that I kind of set back. I think I got to take this as a sign. It's not my time yet, and I'm just waiting for my time. Everything's going smoothly.
Talk to me more about yours. What does happiness look like to you?
Okay, then.
Is it having the dream car?
That's part of it, yeah. Because what it is for myself is, I think the part of the reason why I put myself under so much pressure is because I've kind of planned out how I wanted things to be from when I was very young. In the sense that, like, when I was a kid, like really young, probably like 10 years old, if my mum kind of dealt with me in a way that I thought was harsh because I'm just a kid or all the rest of it. So obviously back in the day, it was completely different to now. Like, people used to get beatings and stuff, you know what I mean? Depending on what I was getting beaten for, it could have been because my sister exaggerated the story, whatever it could have been. I could have think to myself, oh, I'm just a kid, man. I can't believe she, you know what I mean? She beat me like that. I think if I have a kid, I'll be different, all the rest of it. It was things like that I'll kind of look at and think when I'm older, the best way I could probably put it is once I finish college, university, I was kind of thinking, yeah, okay, then my dreams are kind of more achievable. I'm in a position where I probably can, you know what I mean, achieve my goals. I kind of thought about how I'll get to it or how long it will take me to kind of achieve it. But I didn't really set my goals as high as my friends around me, if I'm honest. They kind of had different avenues of how to make money. Don't get me wrong, I was no angel. I'm not going to act like I was the golden boy and my friends were a bunch of criminals. It wasn't really that. I wasn't no angel myself, but I wasn't as involved as my friends, if that makes sense, just because, I don't know, I kind of went to university. I was kind of the first person to kind of take that opportunity to go to university and all the rest of it. And because of that, I kind of was focused on that a lot more than everyone else, I guess, really. And I kind of had a different plan based around going to university and all the rest of it. I wasn't really relying on other sorts of money. But with my plan,
yeah,
I kind of thought how long it would take me. And I think a lot of the time I felt like I failed because I thought, okay, then by the time I'm 25, I thought I would have had everything that I still haven't achieved yet, if I'm honest. I thought to myself, yeah, I had a mortgage, I'd been married, I'd have my dream car on the drive. I think, yeah, it would only take me a certain amount of years, but that's in a parallel universe. I didn't really incorporate all the setbacks that could happen in life. I didn't really anticipate that or think, okay, then what's my contingency plan? You know what I mean? If things don't go right, you know what I mean? How long will it take me? I didn't really think of that. I thought a best case scenario. So a lot of the time I have felt like I'm failing. I think that's why I'm so driven sometimes, kind of get to where I want to be. Just 'cause I feel like I'm playing catch up in a sense.
And I think you're not catching up, but you're not late to the race to anything. I think from my experience, I think you can be your own worst enemy as well.
Definitely. I've been told that many times. People said that to me.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, having that drive and that passion, the commitment is what makes people do what they want to do. Like when we had this conversation to come here, you're like, listen, let's set the ball rolling.
Yes. That's me. You know me. I'm not someone to mess about, as you know. Yeah. If I have an opportunity, I've always took it. I've been told when I was young. I remember a girl said it to me before. Says, "You're an opportunist. Whenever there's an opportunity, you know what I mean. You're one of the people who jump at it."
And why not, right?
Yeah.
When it's there, it's there. Like if you say,
Yeah,
"Oh
but-
no, I'm not. I don't want to do it."
I'm gonna say. Other thing I was gonna say that could be good and bad.
Why?
When it comes to women,
So far, I've got you good with business, but
Yeah.
with this women thing,
yeah, not so much. Yeah, that's what I mean. Those opportunities can be a bit different. Definitely, make or break those can be.
So let's think about if you could tell yourself a younger self. Let's go 10 years back. So what would you tell your younger 10 years ago, knowing now what you could have done to change it? Yeah.
21, finishing university. I'll tell myself, don't take shortcuts. Do things the hard and long way. That way, once you've achieved it, no one can take it away from you. I'll be honest, actually, it's not even this point in my life. I think I've always been a blunt person. I'll just say it how it is. When I was younger, I was thinking to myself, when I'd meet a girl and they've already had a house and stuff, I'm thinking, oof. Instead of me using all this money or saving all this money for a mortgage and all the rest of it, if I move in their house, obviously furnish it, but maybe I'd always furnish or buy something in the house or do something so they couldn't say, oh, he's a bum or he just lives in my house and all the rest of it. Because I've heard women speak that way about other men.
Yeah.
I always come there, I'll do something dramatic like, boom, like, yeah, like I've come and made this better and you know what I mean? I'll try and do things like that as a shortcut though, instead of buying a house myself or trying to save money. But with that, once I split up with them, I wasn't saying, oh yeah, I'm taking that king size bed with me. I'm taking that sofa. I'm taking the fridge with me. I would never do that. I'd leave all that there. So then I'm at a loss. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me about at least 3 or 4 times. I've lived with women and then I've left everything there. And after I've furnished the house or kind of made things better for them.
Gosh.
And that's why I'm kind of at a position where I feel like, yeah, I'm playing catch up. I think to myself, I've just done everything myself and kind of waited and been patient and kind of, you know, got my own place and done it all. I'm in a way better position.
Okay. Well, saying that, you said that I got a better picture of that. Would you, if you had the opportunity, where would you see yourself in 5 years' time? And would you still consider the UK living here? Would you not consider like other countries?
I've already considered other countries, to be fair, just because I don't like the way how I don't like the direction the UK is going in sometimes, especially when I heard about these passport IDs. That really worried me. But it was even things before that. It was
Talk to me about that. What's your concerns on that?
the fact that they're trying to make everything mandatory and the fact that they're trying to monetize and see everything that people are doing and get rid of money and the fact they're trying to tax everything that people are doing. So I heard that, for example, they're trying to have it so every time someone went in the car, they would kind of measure how far they drove and kind of try to tax how far they was driving. And for me, I'm a person who, because I've been someone who kind of secludes myself from a young age, if I'm honest, when there's been any situation I don't like, I kind of took myself away from it because anytime I didn't take myself away from a situation I didn't like, I'll be honest, I can be very aggressive. And no situation could be detrimental to me. There's been times I've almost lost everything of split-second decisions, thinking in the moment, thinking out of emotion rather than logic, trying to win the battle rather than the war sort of thing, if that makes sense. Because of that, I've kind of secluded myself. So with all these passport IDs and all this monetization, I kind of felt very worried because I felt like I was losing my privacy. And I think that's the thing for me, even to this day. Like, I feel like people are losing their privacy. I think that's why I probably don't do as well as some other DJs as well. I don't really want to share everything most time. At this point in my life, yeah, I don't mind, if you know what I mean. Like, that's why I'm on here, obviously saying, you know, everything I'm saying today, if you know what I mean. I don't really mind, just because it's more of a giving back thing, or maybe someone can be inspired or relate to something I'm saying and maybe look at things in a different way, so they don't have to make the same mistakes I did, and that could save them time. Because that's something I had to develop throughout my life as well. I kind of spoke to older people and kind of learned what mistakes they kind of learned from in life, so I didn't have to make the same mistakes. But when I was younger, I kind of felt like I kind of had a plan and that was it, and it was all going to work. But in reality, it's not that simple.
Absolutely.
But in 5 years' time...
In 5 years' time, what do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself?
Well, hopefully, I'll see myself a lot further in my business, having people working for me, expanding out into different cities rather than just being in Wolverhampton, and not doing so much on my own. I think it's more recently I'm kind of learning the value of having a team rather than trying to do everything myself. I think what it was for myself, I used to have people around me who may be useful, and it's happened time in, time out. They'll be useful, and then I'll be let down when I'm expecting them to do something. What it is, like, I'll have an expectation for them because they've done some X, Y, Z well, and I have this expectation for them, and I get let down, which leaves me in a position where I have to do things myself. Like I was saying to you earlier, another example as well was obviously the DJing, when I had someone talk for me on the mic.
Yeah.
Got let down, have to do it myself. Because of that, it kind of put me in this mindset where I try to do everything myself anyway. Because I'm thinking, you know what, there's no point in me involving other people, because at some point I'm going to be let down anyway. I might as well do it myself and have full control and avoid things going wrong. But in reality, it's not that simple. There's something I've learned literally within the last month. I heard someone say, if you think you can do everything on your own, then your ideas aren't big enough, because a Ferrari wasn't made by one person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So to me, things like that have kind of really hit home and kind of made me look at life differently. So now I'm kind of thinking about creating a good team around myself. But that's easier said than done, to be fair.
No, absolutely, man. I think good luck to you on that journey. I think just tell people where they can follow you on that. What are you called on Instagram or?
Instagram, probably the best page to get me on is on DJ Python 1. Yeah, so DJ Python, then the number 1 at the end of it.
We'll add all the descriptions and links in the bottom anyway,
Yeah.
so hopefully you can go and catch them on there.
Yeah.
If you get LinkedIn Tree, where you'll be able to click on everything. Did you use LinkedIn?
I'll add one in too. I need to. I was thinking I need to anyway, to be fair.
Yeah.
It'd be a little bit more easier. I think the main thing I have on there at the moment is like a link to all my music.
Oh yeah.
And I've got a link to my business page on my
Get
on my
his
DJ
music
page
as well. Get it while it's can, man.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah, and the business page is on there as well, and the bio as well.
Yeah,
a link
perfect.
to there as well. Yeah,
100%, man.
yeah.
I was gonna do one more another thing. In this box we got here, in this box, is some cards. It's from the Diary of CEO.
Yep.
Someone who I'm aspiring to maybe takes influence from, Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
His show. What he does is on all these podcasters, he gets him to write a question and leaves it for the person after him. So what I'm going to do, ask you to pick a card. Which card would you pick? That one?
Yeah.
And the card is, the question on the card is, and you got to answer this truthfully.
Yep.
When was the last time you took an uncomfortable risk?
Quite recently. That's kind of how I met you and how I'm on here today. I took the risk of trying to learn how I go 2 feet into a business rather than just working on my business part-time in the background around a day job. So I looked at, obviously, the taxes, marketing, everything involved within business on a course, basically. Now it's an uncomfortable risk because obviously there's a big risk involved, because with any business, it's up and down. It's not always going to be profit. Well, in some businesses, it might be all profit and you might just do really well. But in my business, it's up and down over the years. I've been dabbling in my business part-time probably for the last 3-4 years. And with that, I've seen it's up and down. There's certain months where I pick up more than others, especially in the summertime. It's probably the best time for me. In the winter time, around Christmas, people have tried to claw back, or in January, people might be, you know what I mean, still trying to claw back some money from Christmas, or the weather might not be the best around November, December, January. So work isn't as busy. So I have to kind of,
Swings and roundabouts, right?
because of that,
Could you be DJing, and then towards the December, you got Christmas parties going on, and then you got
literally,
New Year's, I don't know.
literally, I could be. I think that's part of what I'm thinking to do. I think what it is for myself. Even last night, I was even looking at the 48 Laws of Power.
Yes, Robert Greene.
Yes, yeah. So I think the biggest thing I took from that all is I maybe need to. I think the best thing for myself to be successful. Unfortunately, I feel like I need to take myself off the chessboard, in the sense that, like, I feel like I'd be a lot more successful if people didn't know I was behind the business, or yeah, whether that's DJing. I'll be honest, if I felt like I was DJing for Mask and no one, and I had a different name and no one knew it was me, I'd be a lot more successful than people knowing who that is me, to be fair. Or if I was in the business and I had someone else pushing the business, yeah, I'd probably do a lot better. I'd probably do a lot better, to be fair.
I don't know. Well, I think business has changed, and the way it's changing, because you need to be the brand. People buy you. People want to know who you are before. I say I can make faceless content on YouTube all day long, but however, studies have shown that the engagement doesn't sustain because people can't relate to a real person like you and me.
I get that, but
we're authentic.
Yeah, definitely. But I've got a flip side to that as well. I think what I've noticed over the years is my biggest supporters are always strangers. If you get what I mean, the people who know me, they always will watch everything I'm doing, but they're never going to support. It's only when things are going well for me, they'll jump out of nowhere because there's something that they could probably gain out of being around me. If that makes sense. I would love
to know if that's a cultural thing, because I think that's exists in the Asian community too.
I think it's just society, to be honest with you, because I see it a lot on social media. People say that, your friends are always watching everything you're doing, but they don't like anything, and all my likes come from strangers. That's very much myself, and that's why I feel like I might need to take myself off the chessboard. In terms of DJing as well, I'll be a lot more successful as well. I feel like if I was probably hosting my own events, I don't feel like people want to book me, because there's a lot of new DJs who are kind of, you know what I mean, like investing into like clubs and hosting events there and stuff. They'll have headliners, maybe like someone who's big who can draw a lot of attention there, but they're not going to really just be trying to, I don't know, hire DJs just because they're good at DJing, or, you know what I mean? Maybe that takes away from their shine if someone's going to be probably DJing for, I don't know, maybe a similar price and maybe better than them. You know what I mean? You might take the spotlight off them and put it on someone else. And I think they would rather not do that. They'll put the spotlight on someone who's already got it, and then make themselves have a bigger spotlight themselves. I get it from a business point of view, but for myself, I feel like if I really want to push the DJing thing, I think I thought about it recently. I thought about doing events before in the past as well. But I think if I was going to do an event, I think the best thing I could ever do is get someone else to kind of be the face of it all, and I'd invest in the background. And then I'd put myself into DJing that way. I think once I started getting back into DJing, and once people see me on flyers and back in DJing, I've seen it time in, time out. With DJing, I've been doing it since I was 14. I'm 31 now. Wow. So up and down.
Yeah.
When I'm getting bookings, everyone's, oh yeah. I was wondering what happened to you. You've always been good, this, that, and the other. Don't get me wrong. There's some people who always believe in me, and with those people, those are gonna be the first people I'd put on an event and invest into. The people who have shown me love even when I'm the underdog and still seen something in me.
I think all these little things and all the avenues that people are trying to branch off into certain things, whether they're doing a side hustle here, side hustle there, it's the motivation that you guys have got, the charisma you've got, the brand that you guys are building along yourselves. And I think you do have the power to do it yourself. 100% you do. But like you said, when you partnered with someone, it kind of can take you above.
Sometimes I could be like I am now, not many bookings, and then boom, every week, just because I get a residency. So I know how easy it is to happen. So I do agree. Well, I do get where you're coming from, saying I can do it myself.
You can, absolutely, but like it works hand in hand sometimes. Yeah. If it works for you, perfect. Give it a shot.
That does make a lot of sense, to be fair. Yeah, definitely.
Give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
In
go
terms
for
of you asking me, is there anywhere else I would live? I've kind of thought about different places from a while back, just because I had a friend who went to Dubai after university. He's an Asian guy, so he lives in Saudi Arabia, and he travels to Dubai to work because he works out cheaper. But he said he wouldn't advise it for me. Yeah, he said that it might be a bit, you know what I mean, a bit strict for me, and it might be, yeah. But yeah, Dubai, I've thought about because obviously, but that was before. I think now it's a bit different with taxes and all the rest of it. But before it was quite easy.
Saudi Arabia is still 5-10 years younger than Dubai.
Okay.
It's still emerging.
Yeah.
But they're looking for the new expat community crowd to go over.
I didn't know that. At the time, he just told me, yeah, I might have a hard time if I went over there and stuff. So he said he wouldn't recommend it. He said if I was going to come over, he'd probably say live in Dubai because it's not as strict. But
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But however, Saudi Arabia is coming up.
okay, yeah.
It's coming up.
And then the flip side as well, because I used to live in America, I thought about going back because I looked at the salary difference, even as an engineer. Like the salary difference is astronomical, to be honest. Like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much more they get paid as engineers over there than we would over here.
Have you got much commitment over here that you could up and leave and relocate?
Now I'm very much on my own. Like I don't really have much visitors even come to my house, if I'm honest, if you know what I mean.
And how much liberation is in that?
I feel like I'm a lot more focused in the sense that like I see myself as a cup full of energy. Like if I pour energy into someone else, what am I going to get back in return? It is an opportunity where you can pour back into me. Will you take that opportunity or are you going to keep your energy for yourself?
Exactly.
And that's how I judge people in life. If you're in a position to help me, will you? If that makes sense.
I like
And
that perspective. I like that.
Yeah, and from that, that's how I kind of judge how good a person is. And because of that, I step away from a lot of people. That's probably why I do seclude myself a lot, because I think a lot of the time people take me as face value. I don't really let on much, if you know what I mean. I think that's kind of like the name Python. There's an analogy with that as well. But I think for myself, like, that's the thing. People don't always realise what I'm really doing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That mean that I'm always going to try and stab someone in the back or anything like that. Things aren't always as simple as they seem, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Especially with myself, literally. They say you have to be a sucker to catch a sucker as well. That's another thing in
the Robert Greene book.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that perspective. That wasn't the angle I was looking at. I was looking at more the angle of when you have freedom in your head, when you kind of meditate and you can zone out and you can be free of tension.
Yeah.
Free of the worries and the stress.
Yes. You think a lot more clearly.
You think more clearly. You get that focus back, and you haven't got distractions or people phoning you. Let's go out. Let's go on Friday night, Saturday night.
Yeah.
Let's go hit the club. I don't involve myself in any of that anymore. I'm not involved in the events anymore, and I find that so liberating.
I'll be honest, I do miss them times, to be honest, sometimes.
But it's it's the journey, in it. Everyone's journey is different, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, just because, I don't know, for myself, I do like a good laugh and joke, and I don't know, I think a lot of my times are...
And there's nothing wrong with that, that's amazing.
Yeah, some of my best laughs and jokes have kind of been in them sort of environments. People, we had a bit of a drink, people kind of let the guards down a bit.
That's true.
People a bit more of themselves rather than thinking so deeply sometimes. I think those are the best times.
I think I should take a leaf out your book as well. And you know what? This is what I love. I love to listen to other people and take on what you've got to say.
Vice versa as well.
It's not just about me.
Literally.
I don't know anything, mate. But like learning from each and every one.
Literally, I think the biggest thing I've took from you today as well, maybe it's not the best idea to take myself off the chessboard, and maybe I do need to keep pushing myself with my businesses as the face of it, if that makes sense, rather than take myself off just because I'm thinking I'm not getting results I'd like to, especially from people who know me. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to take that book with a pinch of salt, because I've watched the interview on a podcast where Robert Greene does talk about his book, and where people have criticised it for people taking it literally word for word because they criticise it too much. But I get Robert Greene's point of view. When he wrote it, he was in a bad state. He wasn't getting the jobs that he wanted. He went through. He went through all the jobs, and then he realised and thought, hold on, this is what it is. If I can manipulate and I can behave and understand the characteristics of other people, and before I was so naive, now I know how to play the game. Now I can be the piece on the chessboard.
That does make a lot of sense, yeah. definitely something to take away from today and obviously implement it to my life. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely been useful coming. The only other thing I would mention as well, on top of the wages that you see in America, is the police brutality. That's the main thing that kind of steers me away from going over there. I feel like in America it's a bit different to over here. I feel like if you're, I don't know, if there's an allegation made against yourself in America, they're gonna throw you in jail and you have to prove yourself innocent to kind of get out. Over here, they'll kind of give you the opportunity to kind of show that you're innocent and be on bail, for example, and be still free and prove that you're innocent and then not go to prison. Over there, it's kind of the opposite way around. They'll put you in prison and you have to prove why you shouldn't be, if that makes sense.
Oh, is that how it is?
From what I've seen.
You've been watching those cop programs where they go and arrest people and with the body cam on it.
No, what I've been watching is there's a show called 60 Days In.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix at the moment.
Okay.
And what it is that they put cameras in prison, basically, and they let their prisoners kind of govern themselves and kind of control themselves rather than having the prison officers kind of control them.
What? The cameras are watching you?
They put them all in around the cells and they have like people walk around the camcorders and videoing them and stuff like that. But it kind of shows them
Hold on.
inside prison.
Now we know how 50 Cent's getting those P. Diddy shots.
I bet he pays good money for that, to be fair. He's quite petty, isn't he?
Listen, if you guys have enjoyed this, if you'd like to be on the podcast on Inner Empowerment and share your story, do get in touch with us. We'll get one of our guys to send you a form over and we'll take it from there. And I want to say a big thank you very much to DJ Python for coming on board. We will link everything down here. Like and subscribe. We'll get him a YouTube channel as well, I think. Might as well. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.